Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're coming to the end of the EOSTRID fusion. I know a lot of people are going for this. I did definitely recommend it. It would be a good one to get if you can. I think she's a great legendary champion. I do have 100 fragments waiting to go myself. I'm holding off. Yeah, don't forget, hold off until either a CVC or hold off until the next champion chase where you actually get points for pulling a legendary champion, unless you are desperate to get her like cooking right now. 500 points for a champion chase, 30,000 points for a CVC. It's well worth just holding off for a little bit longer unless you are desperate. We do have, as of right now as well, the Heroes Path just dropped. We're going to go through that in this video. And then we've also got the new Prism Shard event, which has got, yeah, they're trying to punch this guy out. Falmond just had a Sacred's kind of like enhanced rate for him over the weekend. Now he's in the Prism one as well. People are hyped about this dude, and therefore they're going to make the most of it. But there's only 4 legendaries in the pool, and it's a 6% chance of getting a legendary. Trouble with this is there's no mercy system. I've pulled tons and just got epics non-stop. I know some people, though, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. But this system with no mercy feels like rough, honestly. There's a chance you just never, ever get a legendary. That's just the way it is. And they're priced basically at like sacred level pricing if you were to buy them. But one thing I did want to point out, this actually came from Saf, and I know some people are already using this, but within Plarium Play, within their system, you get this kind of like calendar that you can get into. How did I get into this again? Raid Shadow Legends. Where did I just find it? Events. Yeah. And you're actually able to see some of the stuff that's going on. So, you know, Saf said to me, oh, there's going to be Prism Crystals in this Sand Devil event. And I was like, how do you know that? So, yeah, it just shows here the main kind of rewards on the events tab for anything. So, you know, people knew that there was going to be mythical steel tomes, for example, in this Hero's Path before it actually dropped, because they're just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on here. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. The Sand Devil is going to give us Prism Crystals if you want to do it. But probably enough for like one summon. That's generally the way it goes down. But I will probably do that because I would like to do a summon without burning tons of cash towards this guy. Okay, let's have a look at this Hero's Path then. It's on for 4 days. A 5-star soul up for grabs. Okay, so it's not like split souls lean to it. It's just a straight 5-star soul. Let's talk about that first before we talk about if it's worth doing or not for points. Like EOSTRID. Let's just take a look at an Arbiter as an example. So now, obviously, don't have EOSTRID, just waiting to go. Similar type of champs. She's going to be a champion that you use for Arena and a champion that you use for Hydra. They're the 2 areas that I think she's extremely good. Okay, like extremely good. So what does a 5-star soul give us? Well, I've actually got a 5-star on my Arbiter here, so I can tell you exactly what it gives us in stats. And that is a ton of health, some attacks, some defense, some crit damage, accuracy. Accuracy on her is actually kind of big because she needs accuracy and she needs a lot of speed, and then she wants to be tanky. So 5-star soul, even without the effect, is kind of nuts on a legendary champion. And then 6-star would actually give her more speed, which would be pretty cool as well. Now on EOSTRID, I think there's a few things you could do. If you're going to use her exclusively for Hydra, might be a bit different, but I think having this one here, the same I got on Arbiter, the Intimidating Presence, wouldn't be bad, just boosting your team's aura. For Hydra, though, you don't get the kind of bonus of reducing the enemy. There's no enemy kind of thing to reduce, I think, anyway. But for Arena, as a double-up, this would be pretty damn solid. You could go with things like, let's have a look through here. What else would be kind of good? You could do Cruelty in Hydra, and that would give you, she's got AoEs, that would give you the chance to sort of stack a good level. You know, we're talking 5-star, decrease target's defense by 2% per hit, up to 30%, of 15% for bosses. Not bad for a Hydra one. You just have to bear in mind, though, every time you destroy a Hydra head, that gets reset again, so she's got to go again, but still, it's pretty good. For Hydra, I don't know if there's much else that I would take on it, honestly. Brimstone's the other one. Provided, it depends if you've got Brimstone already in your team, but 5-star gives you protected smite, so it's going on for sure, and or 60% chance for it to land, and it's protected when it goes on. That doesn't help you in Arena, really, but it does help you in any PvE content. Thing is, if you've already got Smite going out there with other champs, then you're probably best to leave it at that. But if you don't, then this becomes really good as well. So yeah, so obviously the stats are impactful and the effect is impactful. 5-star is kind of juicy. So I think for anyone who's kind of like playing, certainly later game, you're going to want to try and do this. My main wants to do this. You know, my free-to-play, I know, would never have been able to do this if I got her. So you just have to kind of like bracket yourself where you know you are. Now for this one, we've got upgrade champions and we've got summon souls. Upgrade champions means everyone's got a chance to get a good amount of points. But I mean, just looking at it, it looks like a beefy old grid right now. Let's see if we can distill this down. So to get the soul, damn, you actually don't need any keys to get the soul. Okay, so you can literally just go 1500, 4K, left-hand side here is cheaper. So 4 plus 14, 18K. So it's going to be 68,000 points to just get the soul and ignore the rest of the whole thing. Okay. If you want to get books, then you've got to go down the left-hand side, down the right-hand side, unlock, go through. Like there's a lot of stuff to do. And it's a ton of points, right? So you're going to know if that's you or not. That's pretty much, if you're doing that, it's like you're just saying, I am pulling tons of souls. And probably, honestly, tons of immortal souls and some eternal souls. That's like mortal ones not getting you there. Like it's the two bigger ones that are going to give you a chance. I mean, if we used to, let me add up all of these points a sec. So yeah, I mean, if you were trying to complete the whole grid, you're talking like 194,000 points. I think I got that right, which is an obscene amount of points. But I do like, honestly, the fact that they've given you a path to the soul without needing to do all of the excess stuff. So anyone who's after mythical books, which will be the kind of real Krakens out there, yeah, they're going to have to get like a ton of points. Obviously, you don't have to do the full 194. You don't need to do this 25,000 points here. But pretty much other than that, I think you're going to need to do all of it if you want these 2 books. But yeah, I mean, to go straight in for the soul, okay, it's still a ton. It's still a load of points. But I like that at least there's a kind of more sensible route to get there. 68,000 points. Now, if we was to do this through champions, because I say this quite a lot, you know, champion training is their kindest way to let us do this, okay? You might feel like it's not, but in terms of there being a chance to do it, the only thing I would say is we've kind of had like so many of these champion training event type things over the last 6 months. Yeah, that even people that are super active in the game, I would class myself as super active in the game. And I did do the, what's the one? I've done a couple of these fairly recently. So was Narcissus champion training? I think he might have been. Certainly this guy was, the Alatreon with the soul. And I'm sure there was at least one more that I've done, which was champion training based. Maybe it was Archer. I don't know. Anyway, feels like there's been tons recently, right? So once you get depleted of resources, it takes quite a while to get back to a point where you're in that kind of like insane play mode. I've got an insane amount of chickens. And that's because I'm a content creator and I got to the point where I didn't need to level up every single champion I got anymore because they're generally dupes, right? So I've got tons of chickens, which gives me, I guess, a slight advantage. But honestly, if I could trade chickens for brews, that's where this is done easily. Like brews are what you need. And you could see I've got a decent amount, but it takes quite a while. Bearing in mind, I pretty much stripped these bare. It takes quite a while to restack in this type of thing. And this is where you make your points. You take in level 1 dudes and just put in some brews into the level 1 dudes. Yeah, and I've done videos showing how you do this, the right amount of brews you should put in food champions. This is obviously not a food champion, but the right amount of points to put in food champions to get best bang for your buck in terms of brews. There should be no champions on your account at the end of this event, if you're trying to go for it, that are sitting there as level 1, like this. Literally, any 4-star, even if they're just going to sit around for a while and not be a champion for you, 4 brews, every 4-star. Yeah, it's just how you do these events. And, have some sort of semblance of an account left at the end of it. All of these are getting 4 brews. And then, I don't know if I've got any to upgrade right now, but let's assume that this guy, let me take a blue one actually. Let's assume that this guy was someone I actually want to take up to max level. So, once he's 40, if I didn't have chickens, I'd be like, right, any of the guys that I'm not keeping, any of my food champions that I've taken up to level 21, then go into this guy, yeah? And he becomes the 5-star. And then he gets the right amount of brews. I think that is actually 6 for him. No. Is it 5? No, it must be 7. Okay. Anyway, I've got it all gridded out. So, and you see the amount of points you get for doing that. So 351 points for just putting brews into him as like a food champion, versus if I'm actually leveling someone up to like 5-star. So 361 was it? 365, whatever, to take them up with some brews, versus 225 to level them. Yeah, it's the brewing, and it's not necessarily brews you have to do. You can do this in campaign as well, but this is the element which is gaining you your big level of points. Yeah, it's this part is where you get your points from. And you should be doing that from 3-star dudes all the way up to 5 stars in terms of chickens. 3 stars you drop 2 brews into, 4 stars it's 4, 5 stars it's probably 7, and etc. Right? So there shouldn't be a situation where you're feeding any level 1 dudes that's a 3-star or higher. You should just not do it, because it will just make this way harder than it needs to be. Crikey, what was that pack I just seen there? What was that? It's the first time I've seen a brew pack. 285 brews and some chickens. Yowza. Anyway, we're not going to do that. So that's earned me 2,500 points. This is the problem. Like, they don't put stuff like books and Ascension and all that type of stuff into this, which means that it's so long. It's so long to get there. But we have got 4 days. But yeah, there's a lot of training that needs to be done if you're going to do this. In terms of soul stones, I've got very few soul stones as well. It's a shocker. Is there any decent packs on soul stones for a crazy whale like me? I'm sure there will be. But yeah, obviously soul stones is the other way in this one to help us get there. But as I say, it really needs to be immortal soul stones and higher to get like a decent level. And it might be that, whereas normally I convert all of my, extra currency, what are these called? The soul coins or whatever. I normally just convert them into this dust stuff so that I can upgrade my champions I actually want to upgrade. But in these type of events, potentially it's worth just reconverting them into the actual soul stones, because it gives you such a lot of points. So once I've done all my souls, I probably will buy, if they're half decent in terms of value, a couple of packs over this week. But yeah, I will be trying to convert into the bigger soul stones in this situation. So anyway, look, it's down to you guys what you want to do, whether you feel like you even want to get in the mix of this. It is a grind. What you could do as an option is just level champions with your energy, see where you get to by the end of 4th day, and then buy up what makes sense for you. Okay, that's definitely a doable thing. And sometimes, actually, I don't know if we've got one here, sometimes they drop relatively cheap packs for just the currency in these things. I haven't got one right now. Like, that's worth looking out for versus buying soul stones even. Sometimes you can just pick up this, what are they calling this one? Anyway, this light Heroes Path coin, whatever this is, this light path stuff, and it works out way cheaper than buying soul stones. You don't get anything else for your account, but again, you don't have to do everything right now. We've got 4 days. Let's see what kind of pops up. But if you're someone who's just playing casually, I would say it's not a bad idea just to level your champions anyway, because why wouldn't you? And then see where you've got to maybe after 3 days, and then you start to make some choices around what's a good direction for you, And it might be you just want to either top up a bit of extra energy. It might be that you want to grab some extra gems. Things like mythical charms are good for anybody in the game. No matter your level, mythical charms are good because if you get yourself some mythical perception gear at any level of the game, it's really useful. Yeah, so yeah, that's probably the main directions I would go, because all of the juicy stuff outside of the soul is honestly hidden behind these keys, and that's quite a distance to get to that. Anyway, is what it is. Go for it or don't. Up to you guys. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to pick up this one personally. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you in the next one.